Okay, so welcome back everyone. So we're going to finish off our questionnaire document. So I'm just going to flick back just to show you again. So on the first page we have our list of questions, our questionnaire. And on our second page here, we're going to have our table about, which will have information on local recycling centres inside the table. Okay, so I was just showing you in the previous video towards the end, just about adding rows and columns and merging cells. So I'm just going to get rid of this table and I'll start again. So I'm going to move from Home tab to the Insert tab, come to Table. You can do it from the little grid here, or you can also come down and click on Insert Table. And I want to insert a table of 3 columns and 4 rows and click OK. Okay, so once you have a table in your document, just to show you that you now have these table tool tabs available to you. So you have the Table Design tab and you have the Table Layout tab. Okay, so we are going to select our table, and in the table I'm going to ask you to use a font called Tahoma, which is here, and a font size of 14. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and type the data in here that I want to include in my table. So I'm going to include some dog. Eight. Okay, so that's the text that I want to include inside of our table. Now I want to add a new row above the row for Dundalk. So I'm going to click into that cell and immediately see that I have the Table Design and the Layout tabs available again. And I'm just going to come here to my rows and columns, and I'm going to say Insert Above. Okay, so in this top row, I want to now type in Recycling Centre. Opening hours and late opening. Okay, so the text in the top row, I want to select the text in that top row only. And I'm going to change that to a blue font. So we'll change it to this light blue font. And I want to also make it bold. So just changing the text in the top row of the table only. So I want to now select all of the text or the data within the table, and I want to center the data in the table. So I'm going to just come up here and select the entire table. And in my Layout tab, in terms of my alignment, I'm just going to hover here on a few. So here we have top left, top center, top right, center left, and align center. So I'm going to just click on Align Center, and that takes all of my text into the center of the table. Now I'd like to insert a new row between Drogheda and RD. So in between this cell for Drogheda and this cell for RD. So I'm going to click into the cell for Drogheda, I'm going to come to the side here and I'm just going to hit my plus sign. So I now have a new row between the cell Drogheda and the cell RD. So in here, I'm going to type in Dromiskin and their opening hours. Okay, and then I want to have a look at the width and height of my columns. So just to show you, so say for example here in the left-hand column, and in most of the columns actually, we have some free space to the left and to the right, say in the first column here with the names in it. If I select the table and I come up here to my layout, so I'm in my Table Tools Layout tab, and I go to Autofit and I select Autofit the Contents. I'll just click down here. I'll just show you. So that shows you that the table will sort of resize to just fit the text that you have in your table. So if you wanted something, say for example, you had a table where maybe you only had letters and numbers and you wanted it to be a bit more compact looking, you might opt to do auto fit the contents to your table. I'm going to undo that because I don't want to do that for the moment. But I want to change the width of my columns. So I want column 1. So I'm going to select column 1. Bear with me. I'm just going to select column 1 here. And then I want to move back up into my layout tab. And here in my cell size, I'm going to have a look here and make some changes. So I want the width of this column to be 5 centimeters. So I'm going to come down. It's going to come all the way down to it. You could also just type in the 5, but I'm just going to show you. Ooh, back up by 1. So now I've changed the first column width to 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters, and I'm going to adjust the second and third columns to 6 centimeters. So I'm just going to navigate down, but you could also just type in the 6. So I just want to show you. So now they're at 6. The next thing I want to do then is select my entire table again, and I want to change the height. I want to change my row height. So again, back to my Table Tools Layout tab, into the cell size area or the cell size group, and I now want to increase this to 1.5. Okay, so that is that done. Now I'm happy with how my table looks. So I want to select the cell here for Drogheda, and I want to select the cell underneath the late opening. So I'm just going to highlight this cell here. And what I want to do here is I want to split the cells in this table. So I'm just going to click on split cells, and I want to split this into 1 column and 2 rows. And I'm going to click OK. And in here, I am going to just type closed Sunday. Okay, so that's just to split our cell. The next thing that I want to do now is I want to insert a column to the left of the recycling center column. So to the left of this column here. So I'm just going to click into a cell and I'm going to say insert left. So now you can see I have a new column on the left, and the data in this column is just going to be numbers for each of the recycling centers. Just bear with me. Oh yeah, so the heading in here is location number. And in here then I want to, so Dundalk is location 2, Drogheda is location 5, Dromiskin is location 4, RD is location 3, and Dunleer is location 1. And I don't want to have my split cells here in this first column. So I'm just going to highlight, or in this first row rather. So I'm going to highlight this row and I'm just going to say merge cells, and that will get rid of the grid line there that I don't want to have visible. Okay, so in my okay, just my location number. And I'm going to center that heading. Okay. So sorry, I'll just undo that and talk you through what I did there. So I just highlighted, I want my heading here to be in line with the rest of the headings. So I just selected that text in that cell, and I'm back up to my layout tab, and I'm here to my alignment, and I just want to click on, I want to align that text in the center of that cell. So I'm going to click on Align Center, and it comes in line with the rest of the text in the cell. Okay, the next thing I want to do then is insert a new row above my headings row. So this row here is my headings row, and I want to insert a new row above here. So again, back into my layout tab, and I want to say that I'm going to insert above. So I now have a new row above my headings row. So I also want to merge the cells in this row because I don't want any of the grid lines visible, because I'm going to type a new heading in here. So in here, I'm going to type Community Recycling Centres. Okay, and I'm going to change that font to Arial. And size 18, and it's already bold. Perfect. Okay, so that is what our finished table should look like. And the very last thing that I want you to do on this page then is I want you to just add an appropriate image below your table and center it on the page. So to add an image, I'm going to come up to my Insert tab. I'm going to click on my Insert tab, and here in the Illustrations group, I'm going to go to Pictures, and I don't have any pictures of anything related to recycling in my albums or saved anywhere. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to Online Pictures. And in my search bar here, I'm just going to type in recycling and see what I get. Okay, so I'm just going to go for this one here. So I've clicked on that image and it puts a little check mark in the box beside that image or within that image. And I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to click on Insert. Now, what often happens is you get a very large image inserted into your document. So we're just going to fix that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I don't want this additional text here. So I'm going to delete that text out. And then I'm going to click on my image and just resize it. So I'm going to come to the bottom right-hand corner and you can see that I get this, my cursor now looks like a double-ended arrow. So I'm just going to click and drag to make that the size that I want, or to make it much smaller, because I want it to fit on my, so now my document is back to page 2 of 2. So it's now a 2-page document. I'm just going to see, can I make that a small bit bigger? No. Okay, about there. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is I'm going to go to my layout options for the picture, and I'm going to opt to display this picture in front of text. And then what I want to do is I want to move the position on the page. So I'm going to come down here to where it says See More in my layout options. So I'm going to click on See More, and I'm going to look at my position of my image. I'm going to come to Alignment. I'm going to select that I want it to be centered, and I want it centered relative to my page. And I'm going to click OK. And that then moves my image into the center of my page. So that is our recycling questionnaire document. This is one of your learning outcomes for your portfolios. If anyone has any questions or any trouble, or you're just not sure of some of the steps in the video, just send me an email or send me a WhatsApp and I'll get on to you and we can maybe have a look at working through your issues together. If not, I hope you get on well trying to create the document yourselves. And just to remind everyone, we're on Easter break, so I won't be sending out any homework, no Teams calls. I might email everyone just maybe before we're due back, just to remind everyone about the next, or you'll get a notification for the next Teams meeting. But happy Easter, everyone, and enjoy the break. Take care and chat to you soon.